talk about 2026 prelims examination, first thing I'm going to, clarify that indeed there was a very big structural shift in UPSC this time in prelims exam, both in GS1 and CSAT. Some students would say, "Arey, it was a moderate paper." Some students would say, "Arey, it was paper full of absurd questions." Some would say it was the toughest so far. Some would say, "Oh, only basic concepts, if they are clear, then you can easily solve the questions." Some would say, "Ki, Arey, this is very stupid. Not the basic concepts, but anything under the sun UPSC is asking this time." I am putting in front of you the different words, different statements, different messages that students have sent with respect to prelims 2026 exam. I have not yet shared anything concrete from my end. Now let me clarify how exactly this exam was. There would be teachers who would sympathize with you saying UPSC is asking absurd questions and we are against it and we are standing with you. These are the same teachers who would say that these are the notes, only these notes you would have to cover in order to clear prelims. These are the same teachers that must have told you that this is the book that I have written, and following this one pattern, one book, or one resource, your prelims is going to be cleared sure short. So, first thing is very clear when it comes to sharing my views on what has happened this year. First thing is very clear. You have to keep in mind not to be attached with an exam. This comes from my experience as an aspirant and also as a teacher. I was once an aspirant and I let UPSC exam overshadow my own personality. When I was born, when I did my schooling, when I participated in different debates and dance performances, I was a singer, I used to sing, I used to participate in different musical competitions. I was not defined by UPSC back then. When I entered my college, I was simultaneously preparing for my chartered accountancy examination. Then also, my personality was not defined by my college or the CA exam that I was preparing for. I cleared my foundation in CA with very nice, very good marks. But again, that did not define my personality. My personality was that I loved to talk. I loved to explore new things, new places, new ideologies. That was my personality. An explorer. I was an explorer. But then when I entered into the UPSC preparation, I also was once a victim of so many coaching, so many renowned coachings. And that silently started shaping my personality because people used to talk so highly about themselves and their achievements. I had once cleared the UPSC and now I am teaching. This is sure shot going to come. Oh, if you don't understand this, this is going to happen. This is your knowledge base right now. All of this noise started telling me what my personality was, which was in reality not true. My personality was a learner, a seeker, an explorer. But because now, after 11 years of teaching, I am at a position where I can tell you that, UPSC is not your identity. You give me hate, I have no problem. You start commenting negatively in the comment section. I don't care about it. If you're going to hurl insults at me, I'm not going to care about it. Why? Because when you are rooted in your personality, in your oneness, in yourself, in your identity, then no matter what other people says, it doesn't bother you because you know yourself. Same thing to all the serious students who are watching this video. I want to tell you and I want you to recognize this. You are not identified by what the other people are saying or what an exam dictates through the result. Even if you clear UPSC and you become a civil servant, please understand, do not let one position define your entire personality, or else you will be a victim of vanity or ego. And if you don't agree with my point, then I would really request you to read Yoga Vashishta. Try to read it once. It's going to help you understand why attachment is the biggest distraction in our life. If you are a CA, if you are a banker, if you are a housemaker, if you are an IAS, if you are a bank PO employee, if you are a teacher, no matter what you are, these are just positions who are going to get you on social security, money, and a good life for your family and your own self. But they are not your personality. Are you getting my point? So, first thing, you should be clear about it when you start to prepare for any exam in this entire whole universe, whether you are doing your masters from Harvard or New Zealand or Canada. Remember, that's not your personality, that's not who you are. That's just a part of your life. You're exploring things and you are exploring different degrees, different knowledge base. Your core defines who you are, the values that you have, the mindset that you have, कि these are the challenges in my life, I'm going to face them no matter what. मुझसे भी खराब सिचुएशन में कोई इस समय होगा, किसी के कान नहीं होंगे, किसी के हाथ नहीं होंगे, किसी के हो सकता है पैर नहीं हो, कोई देख नहीं सकता हो। मेरे पास सब कुछ है, आंख है देखने के लिए, हाथ है काम करने के लिए, पैर है चलने के लिए, मैं कर सकता हूँ कुछ भी। कुछ लोगों के पास आंख नहीं होती है देख पाने के लिए, फिर भी वो ऐसा कुछ लाइफ में कर देते हैं क्रिएट, कि जिसकी आंखें हैं वो भी चौंक जाता है कि अरे तो इसने ऐसा कैसे कर लिया। ये सारी चीजें अगर आप ध्यान में रखो, देन काम डाउन एंड लुक एट दिस क्वेश्चन पेपर. No doubt, even in the provisional answer key, there were some absurdities. No doubt. Then let's stand against it. Let's file a complaint. Let's point it out to UPSC. There is a window also where you can point it out. Ki these are the absurdities in the even in the answer key. Let's be vocal about it and talk about it. But let's not belittle our own selves. That's the only request I have from all of you. अपने आप को छोटा नहीं समझना, कम नहीं समझना, और अपने आप को एक एग्जाम से उसके रिजल्ट से डिफाइन नहीं करना। और बैठकर 1 महीना 2 महीने हम इस प्रीलिम्स के क्वेश्चन पेपर को गाली दे सकते हैं, हमारे पास बहुत टाइम है, बट लेट्स सी हम उस टाइम को कैसे यूटिलाइज करते हैं. What can we do about it? Let's focus on that. Okay, let's start. And now, from now on, please do not fall victim or fall into the trap of different videos which say we have figured out the pattern, follow this, and let's crack 2027. ठीक है, चलो, let's start. I hope I have made my point really fairly clear. Now let's understand what this video, this session is going to be about. UPSC 2026 exam was conducted on 24th of May 2026. After that, I received a lot of messages from 2027 students. Ma'am, we are preparing for 2027 and we are really stuck in this noise that paper was very tough. Now, what should we do for our attempt? First of all, the preparation that you have been continuing for 2027, let's continue that, and let's see what we can add and what we can subtract based on how the question paper was this year. Okay, so this particular session is going to be for 2027 students to understand how they can position themselves from the perspective of UPSC 2026. If I look at the prelims 2026 exam, I would say that paper was fairly lengthy. Why it was lengthy? Because questions were typically big. I'll show you the length of the question. So over here, now when I say typically big, it depends on your reading speed, okay, and your understanding speed. And that is why I would advise you, please start reading the newspaper yourself. All those YouTube videos that you are feeding your mind with, current affair video 30 minutes may they are covering entire current affairs, the PDFs, magazines, they have failed a lot of students this time. They have crushed the expectation of a lot of students, and that is why it is said reading and writing are the two skills, two weapons, two tools which basically make your mind sharp. कुछ गलत बोल रही हूँ इसमें, कुछ गलत बोला मैंने, मुझे बता देना एक बार कमेंट सेक्शन में. क्या रीडिंग और राइटिंग जो हम स्कूल टाइम से कर रहे थे वो हमने अब बहुत ज़्यादा ऑटोमेट नहीं कर दिया है अपने लिए? अरे यहाँ से मैगजीन डाउनलोड कर लो, हो जाएगा. Instead of reading the editorial or op-ed section ourselves, we are becoming dependent, and then we blame the coachings. Arey, you have not released this month's magazine on time. This shows how dependent we are, and this shows how vulnerable we are becoming to all these traps. अब आप बताओ गलती कहाँ पर किसकी है? ऐसा नहीं है कि एक ही साइड से गलती है, गलती हमारी भी हो रही है क्योंकि हमारी आदत छूट रही है. एंड आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट एवरीवन. Yes, but few students, I know them because I'm teaching, so I receive mails and questions by majority students. Oh, we want current affair magazine on time. Yes, it is important, but when I ask them, are you reading the editorials daily? Their answer is no, because they are fairly dependent on the magazines. So I would say 2027 students, please start the developing the habit of reading and understanding. This is very important. The more you read, the more you speedily you understand, and the lengthy questions, it becomes easy to read the question within few minutes and understand what the question actually is asking. Harappan, when the word Harappan is mentioned, our brain automatically, because it recognizes it, we have studied this so many times. Oh yes, it is ancient history, Indus Valley civilization, we have read about it. But when we start reading the options, majority students messaged me with this question, ma'am, we got confused. Why? Because patience kam tha, kyunki we were so dependent on getting the materials, we spent less time in reading. And that is why we took a lot of time in the exam hall, where our mind is already uh, in panic situation. और उसमें भी फोकस से कोई चीज रीड करना इतने पैनिकी माइंड के साथ, वो टफ हो जाता है. आई एम टॉकिंग विद लॉजिक दिस टाइम. अगर आपको गलत लगे तो बताना, बट मुझे, मैं बिल्कुल लॉजिक 2-3 दिन लेने के बाद ये वीडियो बना रही हूँ, बिकॉज लॉजिक के साथ बात करनी है मुझे. ओके, ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. ऑल राइट. Then we noticed in prelims 2026 that there were some unconventional subjects. For example, ethics, public administration related, governance related questions were asked in prelims. Again, but the questions were very basic. Question basic था, it could have been answered if you had prepared for pre and mains together. प्री और मेंस की तैयारी साथ में कर रहे हो तो वो जो एथिक्स वाले क्वेश्चन थे वो बहुत इजीली आंसर कर सकते थे आप. बट अगेन दैट रिफ्लेक्टेड हाउ we take it for granted when the teachers they shout na, are pre and mains have to be prepared together. Most of students, majority students, not everyone, take it for granted. And we have received a lot of requests on YouTube and on mail, ma'am, we haven't touched mains and we are clearing prelims, but mains हमने उतने अच्छे से revise या touch नहीं किया. Ethics and essay and optional, now help us, we have less time to prepare for mains. As per provisional answer की, we are crossing the cut off, मतलब 90 से ऊपर marks आ रहे हैं expected cut off. मुझे लगता है 70 के अराउंड कट ऑफ जानी चाहिए. बट जिनके 90 से ऊपर आ भी रहे हैं, वो डर रहे हैं कि मेंस को हमने ऐसे एथिक्स ऑप्शनल टच ही नहीं किया. क्यों नहीं किया? सो 2027 स्टूडेंट्स, प्लीज रिमेंबर preparation. If you haven't integrated your mains and prelims preparation together, you have to do it now. Okay, now next thing that I noticed was that there were very fewer direct PYQ repeat questions this year. That means जो PYQ के नाम पर खेलते थे सब लोग, वो अब थोड़ा सा लोअर हो गया. अगर आप देखो, repeat PYQ questions were very few. All right, that means pattern change हुआ है इस बार. ठीक है. And then next we would see that questions जो थे ना, the questions, they were basically using conceptual application over factual recall. जो फैक्ट रट कर हम जाते थे, उसकी बजाय conceptually you have to apply logic and then you have to answer. For example, Indian river system में conceptual application, which of the following geographical features or phenomena is or are associated with the peninsular block of India. So here we have studied peninsular block in geography NCERT. ये NCERT में पढ़ा है, but we do not, we just ratify, memorize it. Right? For example, second statement, presence of residual mountain ranges such as the Velikonda Hills and Mahendragiri Hills. Presence of residual mountain ranges. Features में अगर आप पढ़ोगे तो आपको समझ आएगा कि statement second गलत है या सही. So they are now testing your concept application. कैसे कॉन्सेप्ट को अप्लाई करते हो? पढ़ तो लिया, रट लिया, समझ लिया पेनिनसुलर माउंटेन ब्लॉक, बट उसको अप्लाई कैसे करोगे? दैट इज बीइंग टेस्टेड. लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड द बिगेस्ट pattern shift in 2026 prelims exam. This is going to define our preparation for 2027. The first pattern shift was static plus current affairs fusion has become dominant now. it has become dominant. That means current affair earlier, earlier what used to happen, there were direct questions from current affairs. Now what has happened, अब इस साल क्या हुआ, I'll show you with examples also, that UPSC used current affairs trigger as a trigger to test conceptual foundation, to test conceptual foundation. How? Let me show you an example. Let me show you an example of Sagarmala program of Government of India. Current affair hai, but this is not a direct question. If you see, this is the new pattern change, by the way. Consider the following statements. They have given you three statements. Now, which of the following relationships among the above statement is or are correct? Indirect question पूछ रहे हैं, relationship among these statements is or are correct. Statement 2 validates effectiveness of statement 1. Now, if you know the Sagarmala program of India, then only you will be able to identify if the meaning of second statement is envisioned in statement 1 or not. तभी आप ये interrelatability बना पाओगे. And this was mentioned in the budget. So this is important. Now, if you study any program, 2027 students, any program, any mission, any scheme, make sure that you do not ratify or memorize it. You need to understand. For example, if you are studying the Sagarmala program, you need to understand what is it, why is that it has been envisioned, what would be the impact of this program, okay, and how is it, how is it interrelated, interrelated with different themes like economy theme, right, right, like governance, because it is a program by government, so it is related to governance, right. Economy theme iski dekhni hai, is it in connection with environment or not, is it in connection with some connection with IR international relation or not. You have to establish that interlinkage. इतनी मेहनत तो करनी ही पड़ेगी, ये करना ही पड़ेगा. और अगर ये आप चाहते हो ये मेहनत सेव कर दे मेरे लिए कोई, मेरे लिए ये मेहनत कोई करके दे दे, some coaching or some teacher should do this मेहनत, this hard work for me, the teacher will do it, but he or she might skip something. But again, the content team of any coaching, any institute will do this mehnat, this hard work for you. The point is, then they will feed you this. That will create a rote learning cycle. And then when these kind of interlinkage relationship based question comes, you would start panicking, because the hard work which went on in this particular topic was done by someone else, not you. You just rote learned the end result. अगर वही रिसर्च वही हार्डवर्क आपने कर लिया होता, तो फिर आप रोट लर्न नहीं कर रहे होते, आपने समझ लिया होता टॉपिक. अभी आप मेरी बात समझ पा रहे हो या नहीं? 2027 स्टूडेंट्स, ये करना है आपको. दिस सेशन इज फॉर 2027 स्टूडेंट्स. दे विल अंडरस्टैंड, बिकॉज दिस इज नाउ व्हाट सेशन. अब क्या करना है, कैसे पढ़ना है, कैसे तरीका थोड़ा चेंज करना है, बिकॉज दिस पेपर बेसिकली फोर्स्ड स्टूडेंट्स टू इंटरकनेक्ट ज्योग्राफी प्लस इकोनॉमी, पॉलिटी प्लस गवर्नेंस, साइंस प्लस एथिक्स, एनवायरनमेंट प्लस IR. और यही तो बार बार कहते आती थी ना मैं, कि आपको सब्जेक्ट्स को इंटरकनेक्ट करना सीखना होगा, ठीक है. बट अब एग्जाम्पल के साथ बोल सकते हैं कि ऐसे करना होगा. अब हमारे पास एग्जाम्पल, आपके पास एग्जाम्पल है कि कैसे करना होता है. हम भी क्लूलेस थे, आप भी क्लूलेस थे ना. देखो एग्जाम्पल दे दिया यूपीएससी ने, नो मोर क्लूलेसनेस, राइट. So you have to understand that. Now, second important theme that we have noticed, इसका आप screenshot ले लो, the theme that we are discussing, because then फिर क्या होगा, you will forget, then some strategy video of some topper would come or some teacher would come, and then again you will change in your entire preparation, because one strategy video came out, then after 2 months another strategy video will come out, then again you will shift your entire preparation. होगा कुछ नहीं, टाइम वेस्ट होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. बहुत एक एक मिनट बहुत कीमती होता है, पता है आपको लाइफ कितनी छोटी है? डू यू रियलाइज हाउ वैल्यूएबल योर लाइफ इज, और यू डोंट? यू आर वेरी वैल्यूएबल, not just for your parents, for your own self too. Now, next pattern shift that we saw was reading isolated current affair PDFs. It is not enough. ये तो मैंने आपको बता ही दिया है ना. दिस तो वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. दिस इज सेकंड पैटर्न चेंज दैट वी नोटेड. Third pattern change that we noted was that UPSC has shifted from recall to administrative reasoning. This is the third pattern change, right? For example, आपने देखा ethics related question, ठीक है? डिजिटल गवर्नेंस के ऊपर जो क्वेश्चन था, डिजिटल गवर्नेंस रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन, लॉजिस्टिक्स एंड मैरीटाइम का इंटीग्रेशन क्वेश्चंस में देखने को मिला था, राइट? सो बेसिकली दे आर टेस्टिंग योर ब्यूरोक्रेटिक एनालिटिकल थिंकिंग. Now, the fourth pattern change, elimination method. Elimination became more important than memory. Then memory. That means again, आपको रट्टोबाजी से हटना है. वही सागरमाला प्रोग्राम जो मैंने आपको दिखाया. This is one such example. Then science and tech, they became governance oriented. They became governance oriented. For example, there was a question on quantum computing. So let's say quantum, what is quantum computing? They are not asking this direct question. अब ये direct question नहीं पूछ रहे हैं वो. What did they ask about quantum computing? They asked about its implication. Now, when you are studying quantum computing, you have to study its implication. You have to study its application. You have to study its institutional context. You have to study its strategic importance. You have to study how it is related or linked with governance. For example, example अगर मैं from prelims 2026, if I give you an example, LLMs, question on LLM was asked, question on blockchain was asked, question on the drones were asked, green hydrogen के ऊपर question आया, quantum mission के ऊपर question आया, AI governance के ऊपर question आया, genomics के ऊपर they asked a question, stealth technology के ऊपर they asked a question. So you have to study from different perspective, implication, application, importance, government linkage or governance linkage, and institutional context. What are the institutions governing this particular uh, theme or topic, and उसका थोड़ा सा background, थोड़ा सा context आपको पढ़ना पड़ेगा. And this comes from daily current affair reading. When you are daily reading the current affair yourself and not just dependent on current affair magazine. Even when we look at environment related question, they have become analytical this year. वो भी analytical हो गए. Now they are not focused on specific species. दिखाती हूँ मैं यहाँ पर. I'll show you the example. See, with respect to Western Hullock gibbons, which of the following statement is or are correct? You will notice over here they are not just asking about, oh, four species are given, to which state or which country they belong to, or they are endemic to, or what is their IUCN status, right? They are asking about ecosystem functionality. They are asking about adaptation frameworks when it comes to even environment and ecology. इसमें देखो statement 2 और 3 दोनों contradictory हैं, logical अगर आप answer करो. So their statements in itself they are a trap now. And even if we look at art and culture related question ना, जो Pali text and questions on dances and temple architecture, now UPSC is showing that only the NCRT level preparation alone इज इनसफिशिएंट. सिर्फ समझ लो कि एनसीईआरटी से पढ़ लिया हमने हो गया, नहीं, वो भी अब इनसफिशिएंट हो गई है. डीपर क्वेश्चंस इवन इन आर्ट एंड कल्चर दे आर आस्किंग. So here, when you are coming across different ragas in the newspaper, or some classical singer has been awarded Bharat Ratna, you have to understand to which gharana did he belong to. So the real question is what you must do now for UPSC 2027 if you are preparing for 2027. You have to understand this new formula. First is you have to learn, you have to connect, you have to apply, you have to revise, you have to eliminate. This is the new formula for 2027 aspirants. Learn, then connect, then apply, then eliminate, and then revise, then eliminate. एक second रुकना. Apply, then revise, and then eliminate. This is the new formula that you must follow. You must deeply understand when it comes to learn na. To learn you have to deeply understand the NCRTs, the standard books that you are following, the constitutional philosophy. Write this down. The constitutional philosophy, the geography processes, the economy mechanism, and the governance structures. You have to deeply understand them, deeply understand, and not do the mugging. When it comes to connect, you have to remember that current affairs have to be connected with static syllabus, with static syllabus, with previous concepts, with governance implication. Example, green hydrogen, energy security, climate commitments, then your economy, geopolitics, सबसे connect करना है. Then when it comes to apply, you have to solve assertion reasoning. Look at today's DPQ question. Assertion reasoning हमने उसके अंदर यूज किया है. एनालिटिकल एमसीक्यूज आपको सॉल्व करने हैं. यू हैव टू सॉल्व एनालिटिकल एमसीक्यूज. डेली प्रीलिम्स चैलेंज ऑन सुपर कलाम्स ऐप, ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट डेली. देन इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी क्वेश्चन, दैट मीन्स इकोनॉमी अगर गवर्नेंस से रिलेटेड है, ऐसे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करो. Interdisciplinary questions you have to solve. And always focus on why and implication. Why it is in news, what is its implication. ऐसे सोचो, ऐसे सोचना है. Then make sure that you are revising not 50 sources at once. Do not focus on revising 50 sources. Keep your resources or sources fewer, but make sure your revision is multiple and your understanding is layered understanding. What, why, when, how, where. Okay, and when it comes to eliminate, this has become a core skill now. You have to understand. Look at the extreme words. आज टेलीग्राम कम्युनिटी में देखना, मैंने एक क्वेश्चन शेयर किया है, एक्सट्रीम वर्ड्स. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट यू कुड हैव एलिमिनेटेड अ लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस इन दैट क्वेश्चन. आपको पॉलिसी की इनकंसिस्टेंसी भाप लेनी है इन द स्टेटमेंट इटसेल्फ. लिंग्विस्टिक, फॉर एग्जांपल लिंग्विस्टिक ट्रैप हो कोई, जैसे अभी हुलॉक गिबन के क्वेश्चन में हमने देखा. You have to identify those linguistic traps. You would only be able to identify it if you are deeply understanding and not rote learning. UPSC is moving from memory thinking to governance intelligence testing. You have to understand that. अब अगर आप सोचो कि भाई प्रेपरेशन बेसिक एनसीईआरटी रट लो, हमने इस कोचिंग में एनरोल कर लिया है, वी हैव these magazines every month, we are receiving them, and our UPSC preparation is sorted. No, that is not going to work. वो काम नहीं करेगा. ओके, नाउ क्या काम करेगा वो मैंने आपको उसका फॉर्मूला दे दिया है. इसी फॉर्मूला को हम भी फॉलो करेंगे सो दैट वी कैन मेक conceptual understanding more and more simpler for all of you. That is our aim. We are not a coaching center, we are an ecosystem. Super Kalam is an ecosystem, and now that this pattern has been introduced by UPSC, we are going to stick to this pattern and make it more layered. जितना डेप्थ में यूपीएससी जा रहा है उतना डेप्थ में हम जाने की कोशिश करेंगे, सो दैट योर प्रैक्टिस बिकम्स इजी and in sync and in tune with UPSC. And in case you want to connect with me, you want to talk your heart out, share if something is bothering you, then ask at the rate superkalam.com. You can reach out here and we are here to listen. है ना? Thank you so much everyone.